Hey everyone. I'm just really quick gonna make a quick note here, um, and just touch on a couple things. Essentially, there's a lot of people who have played into this situation. It's happened over the course of 10 years. And also, that reminds me to make a correction in terms of the video where I said, oh, this all started, in 2013, 2014. And so I want to clarify the 2013, 2014 notation should be for the fact that it was then that the first attempt on my life was in December of 2013. And then it went out into 2014, 2015, and now we're in 2018. And so essentially, the last video had Michael Scantlin in it. And, that was from 2017. And essentially, it just shows, hey, look, there's something really weird going on there. And so I actually also would like to say that, because there has been so many attempts on my life and there's, a lot of different key players, I don't know whether I'd really want to go through and tell everyone's name. I mean, I really don't think it's necessary to highlight everyone. I do believe, though, that the ones that I've already highlighted, I will continue to bring out. Keith Evans also being a playing factor. Also, because even though there's, again, these other individuals, it's like, I mean, what do I gain? And I'm not getting any justice out of the justice system. The justice system is exactly what's, really kept track of me. It's that community organized policing. And so when I say this started with counter intel, I believe my search into the Illuminati was the reason why these people had started to, keep tabs on me, monitor my everything. And then that's when I had met Don Ashford at that time. I was actually going through some scenarios where you call them gaslighting. And that was in the beginning of my havoc and and this program, I want to say, because, after it unfolded, 5 years later, I ended up doing something to get back at someone, not knowing that it may not have been them, but I was told that it was them. And so, lashing out, I tried to get back at them, and it was really stupid. And I'll go into further detail about that another time. That was my ex. And I've already laid out his name in the last video that's also posted on my other channel, Carmen Rising from the Ashes, and then As Phoenix or something like that. I'll post a link down below. So at this point, I'm using two different channels. Now, I finished the last video with the fact that, in 2014, I had come out into LA and there was some weird stuff happening around me. And in 2013, I had jumped out of a bathroom window, December 2013. And the tape that I had that had the individuals that were involved with that incident on tape talking about cutting me up and burning me and whatnot. Over the course of time, I've been beaten, drugged, and robbed. And I mean, good Lord, what have I not have happened to me? So that is one piece of the information that got lost. But after December, what I did, I took 2 weeks and I went into hiding. I was really scared because, of course, they tried to kill me. I was shocked as heck. I didn't know what to do. So then I decided, I started praying. I felt like the Lord was telling me to come out to California. And so I came out here, and when I got out here, I tell my sister, and that's also another correction. I'm now staying with my children, and during this time, this is when I was in the streets. And I said I'm staying, with my kids, and then I'm in the streets. And so that's definitely not the way it should have been said in the last video. So to clarify that again, it was during the time of 2014, when I did end up getting out to LA, it took me 2 weeks from the time that this happened in December of 2013. I come out to LA. I get out here, I decide I'm going to stay in the streets because me and my sister had fallen out years before, because in 2010, my sister was asking me, come to LA, let's start a business together. By the time 2012 came around, I decided to give up everything I owned, everything. I put it out in my front yard. There was stuff splattered all over Facebook. All my stuff. Just get rid of it. I got down to 12 baskets. Me and my sister had planned, and because I was pretty successful in the things that I had done prior, I figure, you know what, I can do this again. And so, I went for it and gave everything up. 30 days later, my sister turned her back on me. She for no reason, just turned her back on me, and everything failed. So I ended up with 12 baskets of clothes. And by 2014, I really, my son was staying with my sister. That was another issue that I had. She had come, and, my son was right at the getting ready to graduate. And she's so stuck on herself, he had 9 weeks to graduate. It took him an additional 2 years to finish and get his stuff, because my sister had such a great plan to come to Indiana, steal my son, and take him to LA. She couldn't wait the 9 weeks it was going to be for him to graduate. She couldn't wait. So she decides to bring him out here. And guess what? They tell him it'll be an additional 2 years for you to graduate. I get him all the way through high school, and my sister just comes up with the brilliant idea. You know what? I want you to come with me. So come with me. So there you go. My sister, full force, showing her face in my life and just showing me how much she loves me. She just grabs my kid up, and then it takes him an additional 2 years to graduate. Thank you, sissy. But anyways, the same sister that bought me that ticket to Medford, Oregon. How about that? Yeah, the same sister to William Rivera that I'm now having issues with. How about that? So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go back to 2014. When the gentleman, Keith Evans, who had my sister's name in his phone, who I just, after that, stole his phone, got all these voicemails, had sent him over to emails and to friends and stuff like that to hold on to him. And so what had happened was, and I determined that what happened, I was out in Venice, and I believe these people, they had been following me. I don't just believe it. I know they had been following me, and they had been just spreading disinformation about me, saying this, and that. Essentially what had happened, there was a gentleman that him and I were pretty decent friends. We were out in the streets together. Well, he was out there first, and I just found him, and of course, I'm a lady, so I chose to hang with this guy. He was really cool. His name was Calvin, and I really liked him, actually. And then one day, it looked like I had set something up, and ultimately, it looked like they had did a drug bust on the beach, and kind of used me to say that I was the person who turned these people in. Well, anyone who knows me knows I know how to mind my business, okay? If you're doing whatever you're doing, that is totally none of my business. I do not care, it was here before I got here, and it's going to be here long after I'm gone. So, I mind my business. The government made that an issue forever ago, and so, y'all got to make it, right? Well, anyways, and just like I have to make it, and in order to protect my life, in order to show that what I'm talking about is verifiable facts that connects all of these people that I am pointing out, and this counter intel, which you can find out that targeted individuals, it's also called gangstalking. It's utilized by a counter intel program. And so I'll go further into that on another video. But for now, let's go into this. Let's go to the voicemails that I went ahead and sent to the email that I had from a gentleman whose name was Keith Evans. And when I used his phone, I called my sister, and her name was programmed in the phone. When I went to her with the picture of the gentleman, she told me, yes, I met him about the same week you came up here. Well, when I started telling my sister this stuff, she was like, you're crazy. I don't want to hear about your drama, blah, 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 blah. Well, it wasn't until recently when my brother and this last event unfolded that I went, hold up. This entire time, from the time Don Ashford came into my life, everything, my sister, not blaming my sister. However, it is pretty peculiar. And then on top of it, I also read in the counter intel program, there was some individuals with their stories where, it was like, oh, they do things to make people believe it's you. Or make you believe it's them. And so I had both of those scenarios going on in my life, and that's the whole reason why I did some really dumb crap to my ex Mush, because somebody specifically told me that he was the one doing all of these vicious acts. And Mushy had kept telling me, it's your ghost, every time, I was like, somebody's been in the house, or they moved my furniture around, or this, there was always something different. And, he's going, it's your ghost. Well, was it that he didn't know how to deal with it, or was it him? I mean, there is some unanswered questions, but Keith Evans looks just like the Evans back in Indiana. And to make it, and that is Mushy's friends, so what is it? Are they making it look like it was Mushy? Because that's when I lashed out and said, you know what? I went and did something to him. And when I called him the next day, he said, I know you did. And I said, you know what? That was your ghost. Ever since then, just after that, a couple months later was the first attempt on my life in December. I strongly believe that what happened was this whole program, Counter Intel, really worked. It was driving me mad. And prior to that, I'm going to be straight honest with you guys. I tried to commit suicide once. I literally went mad over what they were doing, and I'll go into full detail about that stuff later on. Let's dive into what we have here. On these different voicemails, what you'll find out is that I was actually in the neighborhood. I had been walking around that day. My son worked at a little pizza joint. And this is where I met the Keith Evans right across the way. I was trying to stay around my son a lot. I had also broken my ankle by this time. And so my son was, trying to stay with me most of the time. There was also a specific time in there that he took me to the park and left me in the park. I fell asleep in the park. And my son, he came and got me. I call him up like, man, you forgot about me. It's dark outside. Well, little did I know, they really had something for me because, again, I stole this guy's phone. And so let's listen to these messages. They're pretty strange. You'll understand. Excuse me.
Hey, Keith, Peter. I'm in front of Bonds on your street in Ventura Boulevard. I'm at the front. If you could answer him my calling. Try and call me back at this number. 818-7. Oh, fuck it. I can't read it. Just still call back. Star 69 on your phone and see if it'll work. All right, bye.
I'm going to have to change them. Files, names. Nah, too many people have copies of them. I'm just tired of getting them again. And
are you serious? You can't tell me you love me tonight? I love you more. Hey, brother, sister, Mo, it's a full moon. Call me back. Tell me you love me. I love you tonight.
Okay, before I keep on going, there was a significant amount of particular things that were, there was an amount of sayings that were particular to the whole situation. It was, I love you and you're beautiful. And I would find that even strangers would walk past me, you're beautiful, or I love you. And, these were the same people that were trying to keep track of me. So let's keep going. You got to remember too, folks, this is the underground. So it's, this is code talk. You're talking in code, and the name of the entire operation has been Sky's the Limit. So from the beginning, it's been sky's the limit. All right, let's keep going.
Chief, wake the fuck up, man. Fucking, we delivered the money to the wrong fucking address. Chief, I need the fucking money back, man. When we go to the fucking box again. Your mailbox. Goddamn, fucking wake up.
Now, I must be leaving because you'll hear a horn go off, and that's significant.
Let's pray. Someday she will help us out with a couple dollars. Maybe my friend, let's get out. Keith, wake the fuck up. Damn it. Hey man, I got a mobile gas station I need fucking removal to. Go back to fucking Van Nuys Boulevard.
Now, you hear that. I got.
Keith, come back. Now. Wake up, Keith.
Oh, he's so desperate. So he finally got mad and hung up there. And again, what was happening was I was leaving the scene, and you heard him say, he said, wake the F up, Keith. First, he's like, you sent me to the wrong damn address. Well, mind you, I stole the guy's phone. I had his phone. Okay, I knew what was going on around me, and I felt like there was no other way to protect myself, so I stole the guy's phone. And actually, I gave it back some other time later. A little crazy, I know, but when you got people following you and you're out in the streets, yeah. Well, anyways. So, and boy, if you guys only knew the entire stuff I did to get away from them. One time I took a magic marker and I wrote all over myself from my head to my toe. I was like, is it a conspiracy? I had lifted my clothes up. I had wrote everywhere. I had names all over me. Oh my Lord, you know what? I have to praise the Lord for bringing me out of this mess. Let's keep going. These are still his messages. Keith Evans, 2014.
Hey Charles, Keith.
Oh.
This is Barry. Sky's the limit, this and that. Pete wanted to talk to you again and say that, you know, he got out of the line and he wanted to talk to you again. I don't care. I'm not with him, but he happened to be showed up again. Here comes my bus. Call me later.
Okay, so when he's talking about Pete, they're talking about me. And we'll go into this next one because, again, the entire operation, it was named Sky's the Limit. And then they're referring to me as Peter Rabbit. And what they do is, you know, when you have code talk, you know, it's like, say for instance, it's cocaine, you know, they'll be like, oh, they want a ball. Okay, so they're playing basketball, okay, for so many grams of cocaine. Well, you know, yeah, I do know these things, and hey, I'm sorry, y'all, but, you know, I gotta explain it to the ones who don't know it. And of course, I'm not turning over no drug dealers here. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh my gosh, she's running around snitching on drug dealers. No, I'm not. I never have. Let's get that clear. All right.
Hey, Peter Rabbit, what's up, man? Where you at? I'm a fucking, close to Hamburger Hamlet. I'm fucking Van Nuys Ventura Suicide.
Now hear that? He says Van Nuys and Ventura Suicide. Why? Like, really, guys? Come on.
Remember Hamlet on the fucking Van Ventura suicide. Some shit. Van Ventura Boulevard. Hey, wake up, you home? Hey, man, we sent the money to the wrong address, dude. I saw it.
Now, let me clarify. This is the second guy who says it's the wrong address. So, at this point, you know, there's multiple people that are addressing the wrong address situation. Doesn't it make sense for me to say what was happening was I was moving, I was walking, so I'm going from place to place. That's why they seen me at a gas station where he says, I have a gas station removal, you know? So then, and now the other guy, you know, it's so as you can see, as I'm walking, people are keeping tabs of me. And so that's what happens when low-level street thugs keep track of you, okay? And they can use this for any reason. So people are ultimately believing by this time that I had set up a drug dealer in Venice, California, which never happened, okay? And it sure did look like me too, which was pretty messed up. The way the events unfolded, I was like, this is weird. It does kind of look like me. And Calvin said to me, I swear this has something to do with you. And I was like, it doesn't. Well, lo and behold, it actually did. And it wasn't because I was running around telling on people. It was because these people were following me and had followed me out from Indiana to California. Now, am I saying that, you know, it was the individual people? No, the first 3 people that tried to kill me was Roy, who's known in the streets of Muncie as Tennessee, but they had introduced him to me as Barry. And see, Barry is the name for someone who is going to bury a bitch, okay? They are going to murder her. So, you know, again, let's just keep going.
And I'll close that later, bye. Hey, we're behind me, but in, Similar Park, me and Cynthia. I got a new drink. I got a fucking bottle of rum in the fucking front kitchen sink.
Bottle of rum in the front kitchen sink. More like some rubbing alcohol to snuff me out, huh? Okay, so then here's a girl in the park.
Where you at? I get a pizza delivered to the park. That's gonna eat you up. Without you don't make it here in time.
Okay, now let's just say that I'm nuts, right? Which by now you guys are probably figuring out that my story does actually hold a little bit of weight. The lady says she ordered pizza to the park, okay? And pizza's also another code name for many things. Unfortunately, it's code names for a lot of pedophilia. But we're not going to go there. That doesn't have anything to do with this. Nonetheless, it's still another code name for something. And she says, you better hurry up or I'm going to eat your wealthy. So at this point, you know, as you can see, these are Keith Evans' messages. The gentleman worked at AT&T. When I had known him, he was living out here in Hollywood and he was in a wheelchair, and so anyway, nonetheless, this is the individual that again had my sister's name and phone number saved in his phone. This is like the day I met him. He should have never known her, and she blew it off like, you know, it's nothing. I even took this to her. Oh, that's nothing. You're just, you know, blah blah blah. So it's like, okay, whatever. So anyways, and really oddly, my brother this last time says, you know what, Carmen? I'm not the one running around trying to make things make sense and put things together and, you know, just try to figure out what's going on with me. I know what the hell's going on with me. Well, we'll get more into that story another time, but I kept trying to tell him, I know what's going on.
Hey, Peter, what's up, man? Where you at?
No, here we are.
Where you at? I get a pizza delivered to the park. That's gonna eat you up. Without you don't make it here in time. I know what it is, damn it. Kaylee, drop down here and eat your dead pizza.
I'm gonna eat your dead pizza. Kaylee, get your ass down here. See, so all of this time, you know, let's just hear that. I'm gonna eat your wealthy. Who says that? For what? If it's not code talk, if what I'm saying is crazy, then please tell me. Why do you say that anyways? If you're ordering pizza, it's, hey, I got some pizza. There's, I know you like pepperoni. So, and it was none of that. Really, really weird.
What do you want? I started to get a pizza delivered to the front. I said, eat your mouth, what out you don't make it here in time. I know what it is, damn it. He was stretched out around me for that pizza. He was passed out.
Okay, I'm gonna eat your dead pizza. The funny thing was, and this is odd, but folks, this is true. I did fall asleep. I had just went prior and picked something up to eat, and I think someone stuck something in my food. I had another time, like a week prior, I had had a sandwich from Subway that and when I got it, I stood there in front of these people. I would not have swore I seen them put anything on it. But of course, they do turn their back to you and stick it in the oven too. So, and of course, I blink and everything else. I just didn't think, I'm not thinking, the Subway dude's going to be poisoning me. But I was eating it and I'm like, holy Moses. And I got really super high. So I knew then, hey, watch it. Well, I don't know what happened there. I know I did go to sleep when I woke up. It was hours later. Okay. And my son, I call him up, holy shit, you've left me in the park. Why? I could be dead by now. My son comes and gets me, and he's just, there's nothing going on, Mom. You're just losing it. Because my sister and everybody's continuously discrediting my name and saying, she's on drugs. She's not someone you need to listen to. And instead of me wanting to put other people in harm, and then also, at this point, I guess I'm gathering info and I know what's going on, but at the same time, so many people didn't have such a play in it. And I did spend some time going crazy from the gaslighting issues that I'm going, I can't pinpoint this. So it wasn't until recently that I was actually able to finally, just say, I'm confident that not only what I have will solidify my own story. I mean, I've been confident since day one that it would, but ultimately, I guess I was empowered. This Me Too movement, me too. I've been hurt. I have been beaten, y'all. Beaten multiple times. I have so many injuries. I'm in pain all the time, every day. I can't even get help at the doctor. I'm constantly going to the doctors. And it's like, I'm even blacklisting the doctor. If I ask, man, I need a painkiller or something, it's almost like I've, asked for something too much. And but that's not something I seek. I'm not out trying to get painkillers and all these other things. I have sought answers. And my insurance has been taken away from me. There's all of these other factors that come into play. Again, I need to put a collective video together that includes it all from the beginning to the end, so people do not have to skip through and watch video to video. I essentially feel that it was important to outline it, though, in this manner, again, because too much information can be an information overload. And then I'm not a journalist, and this is my life we're talking about here. This is my life. I have had to live through this for 10 years. I look different. I feel different. And quite frankly, I'm thankful to have become the warrior that I have become in these days. I'm so thankful that the Lord God, loved me enough. And I was, I wasn't a bad person, but it never was a bad person. But through the gaslighting scenarios and all the other things, I did end up taking a couple years and using it and throwing it away towards drugs. And made a bunch of poor decisions during that time. I wasn't raised that way, though, and I didn't live my life that way. I had raised my children up, got to a certain point, and after they were breaking into my house and just constantly, to the point where I was scared for my kids, y'all. I was so scared. So I pushed them out, and I asked my mom to help me and stuff. And then, well, my sister, I went out there. I changed. I said, okay, that was my factor because they were breaking into my house. That's my factor. I'm going to go ahead and move out and do this with my sister, this business. And then after she turned her back on me, really, you guys, I was crushed. I was so crushed. I had spent all them years developing something for my children and my family, and I gave it all up in trust for my sister, thinking that my sister she wouldn't, we were going for this, and I was successful in everything that I had put my mind to and set out to do, and I knew I would have been successful at that too. But instead, she turned her back on me. When I ended up with 12 baskets of clothes and 3 children, the scenarios after that, folks, I spent a couple years being crushed. But you know what? Here I am today, empowered. I love my kids, and I'll be doggone if you guys are going to keep stealing a damn day of my life. If you don't like what I'm doing here, then why did you participate? If you don't like what you're hearing, then why? Why? Did you have anything to do with it? Folks, I have a whole lot more. I'm going to condense it, and we'll move forward. Until then, put your prayers up. Make sure you pray for me because I'm definitely going to need it. Share this video, hit subscribe, and look for the link below to my other channel in order to get the videos that I very first put out. Adds a bit more information into this. And also, yeah, I'm trying to get this out to a specific few individuals. You'll find the Cowan Blackhawks link below in the description. So just click on that so you can get a little bit more information. The way this counter intel program has worked, it's put me in a lot of different situations that were not conducive to the way that my rights, or to the way that people are supposed to utilize their policing within the community. My rights as an American has been violated over and over and over. I not only want my life back, but in reality, I want my name cleared. I want them papers cleared, and I want the truth out. God bless.